All right, so welcome back. All of 24 hours since the last video. Um, Still testing my mic, still honing every day. And I had everything set up, and I was thinking last night I got a couple of emails from some guys, and I guess to sum it all up, the topic, both of them boils down to the bottom line being, like, what do you like more, Jnats or Coticules? So I kind of thought this would be a good idea for a video, and not one that comes to an absolute, final equation, the final, doctrine, final statement, but rather one that sparks a discussion amongst people, where people can just, talk about what they like and why, Now, I've been on forums for a while, and it seems like there's always like one or two or several people who want to have a definitive claim to absolute knowledge, and they'll openly they'll say things like Jnats are better or Coticules are better, and there's one guy, Coticules are only good for mid-range or some other bullshit, and opinions are what they are. There's a million opinions out there, and I don't believe any opinion like that is credible, because people like Coticules, people like shaving off of edges honed on Coticules. All right, this is a little low. I don't know what is going on. This happened earlier when I was setting the camera up, and hopefully that's a better angle. A little bit better anyway. And there we go. That's good. Still figuring out how to work on this side of the sink. So anyway, so you have these people who want to have final say in the matter. This is better, that's better, whatever's better. You see, me, I've always been a both and instead of either or. I learned on Coticules. I have always had Coticules. I have never not had Coticules. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that 90% of the time I hone on Jnats, and it's because I have a particular kind of zen with them. But that doesn't really mean that there's anything wrong with or less than with Coticules. If all I had in this world was a Coticle, I'd be happy. I shave great off of them. See, I can go away with these two stones, right? These two pieces. I just, wrap them up in a towel and throw in my thing, and boom, I'm good to go. I can hone. I can do whatever I need to do. I could set a bevel with a Coticle. I don't like doing it. Maybe there's someone out there who enjoys doing that, and you could pipe in and, chime in and leave a comment about that. But I always find them to be, for me, the bevels I make with my Coticules, they're always a little too rounded. And that's one thing about Coticules. They seem to leave a little bit more convexity, if that's a word, on the bevel than some other systems, Jnats included. So right there, I guess, in the sense of absolute sharpness, where edge width is the determining factor, I guess absolute sharpness is probably going to, be owned by the stones with the finest particles. Jnats are finer than Coticules. And so on and so forth. But, shaving is much more than math and just, finite stuff like that. It's a lot of subjectivity, and, for me, some days I want to have a hamburger, and other days I want to have filet mignon. And the third day I want to have sushi, and then the fourth day, I want to have duck. That's for me. Now, someone who's a contrarian, and you know the type, I mean, they just want to argue all the time. You know, no matter what position you take, they're going to take up an opposing position just so they can argue with you. You know, you could pose any number of rationales. You could say, well, why do you need so many stones? It costs too much money, or yeah, any number of things like that. And while those arguments might be valid for some people sometime, for me, I kind of keep it simple. You know, I like to have choices. I like to have variety. Different stones leave different types of edges. You hone on them in different ways, and I like that. You know, as long as the edge is more than sharp enough, I'm good. Excuse me, my sinuses are killing me this year. So, you know, I hone on these coticles, and I do this dually cut thing, and there's a number of ways to hone on them, and this is just one way. And I don't really do a dually cut with, you know, a heavy prescription to it. You know, 10 strokes and then half a drop of water and dance under a mushroom at midnight. I'm not part of that. I'm not into it, I should say. I'm not part of the camp that goes that route. I just hone by feel, you know, and when the edge starts to feel right, you know, then I start moving on and I start diluting a little bit. And that's one thing that's nice about Cotis is you just have like that one slurry stone, the one slurry, and you dilute, and you figure out your finish, and you're good to go. You know, some people claim that they're no good for finishing, and I don't know. I finish on coticles all the time, and I shave very well. You know, when I started, I didn't know how to finish on a coticle, and I wound up using Crocs to bump my edge up, and then after a while I got away from Crocs. I never liked Crocs, but I needed the sharpness. Works, you know. If I had to use Crocs, I would survive. You know, remember this guy on one of the shaving forums was like anti-Crocs, and he was saying things like, oh, you're going to have a shaving disaster. It's like, oh, geez, man, you know, look at history. Look at history. How many people have shaved with these things and been happy, you know? Why pick the contrarian method of discussion all the time? Just, I don't know. One of the guys I know in the vaping world, he calls it performing, all that stuff. You know, people go to those social media sites to perform. I guess he's right. All right, so the Jnat, right? Completely different feel, whereas the Coticle had more of a heavy satiny type of feel. This is still satiny, but a little lighter and a little faster, you know? And honing feel is important to me, but it's not like I'm locked into only liking one type. You know, I have lots of stones. You know, I have Esches and I have Arcs and what have you. I like them all. Like I said, different stones leave different thumbprints, fingerprints on edges. And, you know, I like that variety. I need a little more slurry. So, you know, with the Coticle, you have that one slurry stone. And to get through the same mid-range with the Jnat, you need a couple, 2. I have 3. Probably get away with 2. You know, full honing is different. You would need maybe more Nagur, or at least more steps on each one. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. With the Coticle, you still only have that one slurry stone. Now, you know, there people say, you know, oh, Jnats are more expensive, and yeah, I don't know. In this size range, these 2 stones I have out here today, both of these, price-wise, I think if I was going to go shopping for one or both, they'd both be roughly in the same place. This is a Tenju, by the way. Really, really nice Tenju. I could just hone on that just for the sake of honing. I know, but I'm interested in discussion. I want to hear what people have to say. And, the reason, okay, is that, over the years I've gotten contacted by a lot of new guys, and they're always confused because they read stuff in forums, and, they don't know which way to go, and they get a little paralyzed because they get like sensory overload. And I don't blame them, I kind of go to forums less, and that's partially why today, because, somebody, new guy comes in and says, I got this problem with this XYZ razor. What do you think? And then like 40 guys come in with 38 different opinions and 700 different ways to approach it. Now, that's the beauty of social media, but it's also a liability because now all we've done is paralyze the new guy. He's like, what? Then he tries to like apply a little bit of everything. We all know how that goes. So anyway. So I'm thinking maybe a discussion about, what do you like more? Why? Do you like Jnats more? Do you like Coticules more? Why? Staying objective and, sharing experience in the comments down below. I think that would be good. Me, like I said, I like both. I'm blessed to be able to have both. That's first. It's not really a stretch, if you consider the amount of money I don't spend on Mach 3 cartridges. Jeez, the price of those. I was just in like Rite Aid today, and I was going to get some Barbasol, and the blades are like right next to it. I'm not sure, but I think an 8-pack of blades, which is like a month's worth of Mach 3 blades for me, was like $38. I just glanced at it, and it registered later when I was online. I was like, whoa! So across a year, that's like $300. $300? That pretty much, kind of covers the stones here in the sink. That's 1 year, I've been shaving since I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that. Anyway, so let me get centered. So, my point is, if you add up the 300, over even just 10 years, 300 a year, you're talking 3K. So with 3K, man, you can buy some real fine-ass stones, and a lot of them. So I don't think the cost is high on either. I think they're comparable for the most part. If you want to talk about those big giant sweeter that sell for like, $30,000 a piece, yeah, they cost more than just about anything, but those are collector stones. Guys honing razors, we don't buy them. No. We buy stones like this. $1.50, $200, sometimes $100. Same with the Coticle down there. Shave wise, I can push an edge with the Jnat and come up with a really, really super, super sharp edge. And it's a little uncomfortable to work with at one level because I have to pay attention. With the Coticle and the way it does its convexity, it makes a nice, comfortable, safe edge, and sometimes like I just want to be like D'Artagnan and go in there and just shave everything off and not like have to think about it. I don't always want to be wearing my ninja suit like when I go in to shave. And a pushed edge for me, yeah, that's a tedious thing. And I love that edge, just not every day, So again, it comes down to that like hamburger or filet mignon thing. And I suppose there are people that would say, well, the filet mignon is better than the hamburger. Well, not if what you want is a hamburger. You know what I mean? What's better, a Ferrari or a Lincoln Continental? Well, if you're going to get milk, the Lincoln's probably a better idea. If you're looking to run flat out at 150 on the Autobahn for days on end, then the Ferrari might be a better deal. So it's like, which way you want to go. It's not a matter of which is best. You want to make it into a game like that. That's the contrarian thing. Those are those guys that just, I don't know, trying to invent themselves as the new Grand Poobah of shaving. I just see more and more of that argumentative stuff, and just pushes me further and further away from what someone might mistakenly call a community. Most of that isn't really community, in my opinion. It's an industry, you know. It's people inventing themselves into some sort of, you know, they're marketing themselves to, for whatever reasons. You know, there's a million reasons. Some people sell edges, some people whatever. Yeah, I know. I sell stones on Etsy, but like it's not a business. It really isn't. I have a day job. The Etsy thing is like advanced hobbyism. Puts me in contact with a lot of people that are new and a whole different sect of people. Anyway, this is kind of done. And the whole reason of the video isn't really about this blade or this honing or anything else. It's about the topic. And the topic, I would like to try and get some conversation going. I know most of my videos don't have conversation, so I could be throwing a party that no one's coming to here. But if you guys are listening, you know, hey, you know, share the video. Get it to your friends. Put it on your social. Get some people involved, you know. Let's, you know, try and take a shot at that, like, contrarian negativity. And I'm not going to say bring shaving back to where it was, but kind of like that, you know. Whoop. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I guess I could have had done this video without the honing part. And be completely honest, I'm probably going to rehone that blade completely in the next day or so anyway. So it's a big whatever. Just had the stones out for the sake of discussion, you know. So, you know, which way you want to go, you know? Do you want to go Coticle, Belgium, or you want to go Jnat, Japan? Do you like one over the other? Okay, cool. Do you like both? Cool. Leave a comment. Let everyone know why. Thanks. Oh, one thing before I go. Remember, this is about having fun, so make sure you keep on having fun.